again, whenever these fucking situations come up, I am wildly fucking disturbed by how so many black folks are so fucking willing to extend grace to these motherfuckers who harm us. I mean, motherfuckers taking into consideration, oh, he's an old man. I don't give a fuck. He was old enough to pull the fucking trigger, right? Two times.
Twice.
He was old enough to carry his old ass to the fucking door, look out, see a black teen, get his weapon, and pull the trigger twice. If he's old enough to fucking do that, he's old enough to go under the fucking jail.
No bullshit. You know, one of the things that he used or that he said when they were interrogating him was that he was scared of Ralph's size. Ralph is 5'8", weighs less than 140 pounds. He
Yeah.
said he was threatened by his size, which is why he shot him.
But
And
we
then
know
I
that's
guess I think that
classic.
when they pressed
Yeah,
him, I think that's when he started to admit that hey, part of that threat, that fear, was because it was a black person standing
yeah.
outside his fucking door
And that's
knocking
one
on
of
the
the
door.
classic white
The go tos.
supremacists
Yep.
go-tos
The go
is,
tos.
you know, I saw a black male and it was a bigger one and immediately equate
A bigger one.
a bigger one. Yeah, equate some sort of criminality. This young brother, man, was looking for the right house to pick up his siblings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mean to tell me I can't knock on a motherfucker's door without catching two?
You know what it is, man, is that I think the conversation that I've been seeing online is how terrible this is. People can't believe that it's happening, and I just
Every
want to
fucking
remind
time.
people that this is not a one off. This has happened on many occasions over the past several years, and I just want to give you a few names just so that you understand the gravity of this. We have 19-year-old Renisha McBride was in the suburbs of Detroit. She crashed her car when she was looking for help. She went once again and knocked on the wrong door. This was like at 12 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
And the homeowner shot her through the door in the face. They couldn't even do an open casket for this young lady because this guy shot her with a shotgun
Yeah.
just because she knocked on the wrong door looking for help after having an accident. He said the homeowner that shot her said he thought that she was trying to break in with how hard she was knocking on the door, and his shotgun went off by accident. Is what he said. 24-year-old Jonathan Farrell, Charlotte, North Carolina. He had a car accident, a bad car accident. Car flipped over the whole nine. He was bleeding and bloody, and he walked up to a person's home and knocked on the door early in the morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning. He was a father, worked two jobs. He was a football star, had graduated.
And I think that's the part that we always get to. This part of the segment, this part of the show, every time we discuss these, the consistency with this, and also the level of, I don't know if apathy is a fair word that I want to use here, but so I'll use numbing. The
Hmm.
level of numbing that it seems to be taking place with us now, that the only time these stories, because that's what it's become, right? It's become stories. It's no longer human life. Now it's stories. The only time
Yeah.
that these become human life is when it's young people now, when it's something so egregious that takes place, like knocking on a door and getting shot. But something like Jalen Walker or the other young brother in down in the Baltimore DMV area who got shot by the park folks, right? That, that's not getting news anymore. That's not, we're not getting those big stories anymore across the news media because it's not getting us in that emotional space that it once got us. It wasn't until they realized that this was a 50-year-old boy and in the manner in which he was shot that people in the community showed up to that white dude's house. And by the way, when they showed up to this motherfucker's house, they were very nice to this white man. but it doesn't move us anymore. It doesn't
But
move us. And I
but
think
I
one of the
think
reasons. Go ahead. I want to hear your
part of the
thoughts.
part of the reason why I think it does this story is slightly different, and it's not to negate anything that you just said, right? Because we are becoming numb to most of these stories, but I think the reason why this particular one is different is because this young man survived,
Sure.
or he's in the hospital. He's like he's going to
No,
be
he's home
ultimately
actually.
be able. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's going to ultimately be able to tell his story, right?
Not only
And
that, though, Sean, he not only survived, but he was a good one.
because they tried to scour the
He
internet
was.
and
He
find the
was.
I
ways to
think
get to
I think
He was
mismention
a.
I
him.
think
He was a
I
good
think he
black kid.
I think he
Yeah,
plays. I think he's a third chair,
No,
and
no, no.
he
yeah,
plays the
He.
sax, right?
But that's
yeah,
one
something
of
Is
the
like
he
that.
third
ways.
chair?
One of the reasons why many of
In
us
school band.
got so up in arms because this was one of the good black boys.
So they couldn't find a reason to justify or
To
to make it
justify
seem,
ignoring it.
Yeah,
because you know what was going
he's
to happen was that
a truly, utterly innocent black child.
because you
Yeah,
know what they were going
because
to
the
do
other ones
because
aren't innocent, right? That they
none of them are.
In
somehow
fact,
somehow they
None of them are.
deserve to be shot and killed.
the only pictures they could find of the boy were him sitting in band practice,
Yeah,
looking at the camera like, "Can I go home?"
But okay. Let me tell you. There's another story that's very similar to this one, and it happened. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago. There's a kid named Brennan Walker, right?
Detroit
Mhm.
suburb.
The trial.
A homeowner seen on home surveillance firing a shotgun at a black teenager who prosecutors said had missed the bus and was simply going to ask for directions.
A home security camera in suburban Detroit capturing the harrowing moment 14-year-old Brennan Walker knocked on a stranger's door for help. A woman answers, and seconds later, her husband emerges with a shotgun in hand and opens fire, Walker running for his life.
She thought I was trying to break into her house. I was trying to explain to her that I wanted to get directions to go to my school.
Prosecutors say homeowner Jeffrey Ziegler intended to kill Walker.
We, the jury, find Mr. Ziegler guilty of...
A Michigan jury today convicting him of assault. The teen had missed the bus that day and was lost.
I saw a black person standing at my door, and I screamed at him, and I asked him what he was doing there. He tells me that he is going to school.
Ziegler's wife says he was opening the screen door. Her husband says he never meant to aim at Walker. Prosecutors argue Ziegler acted deliberately.
If he didn't intend to hunt him, he would have stayed in his house. He would have waited for the deputies.
Mind you, this is a kid looks just like fucking Ralph.
yeah.
Small ass little kid with glasses. 14 years old. And it hurts my heart because I look at my son, and we went to a DC Defenders game this past weekend, and I'm joking with my kid and I'm laughing and loving up on him, only to get home and I see this story, and my first thought was, he's getting of that size that anytime people see him, they're going to be like, he's an adult and he's a kid.
All right, just don't knock on no one's damn door ever.
But I mean,
Forget
what type of rational sense does that make? The people in this world can't make mistakes. That a mistake is going to cost you your life.
It's not
Look
only
at the two.
that. It's
Look at the
not
two.
only
Hold
that
on,
part.
real quick. Look at the two young girls. I think in Elgin, Texas.
Yeah.
The girl mistakenly tried to open the door on a car that looked like it was hers. She's like, "Oh,
that was insane."
He said, "Oh, my bad. It's not my car."
He
And she
went
got back
over
on her
to the
friend
car
and went to the car and
let
just
off.
started let
Started
off.
unloading into the car.
Into the
Like,
car.
what is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
So again, the list of things that we cannot do is ever growing. Like it's every day. It's a new thing that black people are not allowed to do, because if we do that, death is on the other side of that
It's
decision.
imminent. Yeah, it's imminent.
Right.
man.
So now I'm seeing black people online saying, man, now I gotta tell my kids not to knock. And first off, I'm automatically thinking, like, what the fuck are you telling your kids anyway? If that's, where we're starting at, that's the fucking what kind of conversations are you having with your children about this type of shit if you're telling them that? Right. So that's because to me, that conversation is already part of the ever-growing conversation that I'm
So we
constantly
should be
having
about
with my
our
kids.
kids' safety.
Bananas.
Like,
Bananas.
no, but I think